welcome everyone. Show of hands, how many people or employers here in the room need good workers? All right, Dr. Roll, President Shadid, there we go. So with that, that's why we're here today, to talk about, what the area is doing, the schools, and the training that can be given to our students to advance and keep them here. It's all about retention and recruiting. So that's why we're here. Big thank you to Wilson Services, Ben. I don't know if it made me look better with all the plants, but it's sure nice. It's very nice. So Ben, Wilson Services, if you need your grass cut, you need plants, you need anything, man right there. So again, Paradise, Tommy, staff, great always, for the food and everything that we have. If we could, the board of directors, if you could please stand. Any board members here? So got to make sure of that, job security. So, and our ambassador group, the ambassadors, they're the ones that really do the work for us. So ambassadors. Okay, for that, Mayor Call, if you could, with the pledge and the prayer for us, please.
All right, good morning. Please rise for the invocation, remain standing for the pledge. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this gathering of diverse public and private entities and dedicated servants who come together in common cause for a greater Peoria community. Grant us clarity of thought, open ears, and respectful hearts as we share our insights. Give us the wisdom to look beyond our differences, the strength to shoulder our responsibilities with grace, and the vision to work toward the good of all people. In a spirit of unity, collaboration, and hope, we say, Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right. Well, we're going to lead off with President Shadid. I think most everyone knows Jim from previous, but I can tell you right now the comments in the community are outstanding. Bradley's going places that we've not witnessed for many, many years, and it's going to get better and better and best. So, President Shadid.
Thank you, Rick. Mayor, good morning, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to be with you this morning. Yesterday, we celebrated, today is actually her birthday. Our founder, Lydia Moss Bradley, was born on this day in 1818. Last evening, we celebrated with, nearly 100 plus alumni on campus, a small gathering. And we celebrate her because I believe she left us the greatest legacy in higher education. And for those that know little about her, she was a lady that was very philanthropic with her husband, and they had 6 children. She lost her husband and 6 children over a course of a 10-year period to tragic accidents. And she continued their philanthropy in the greater Peoria area. She provided land for Bradley Park. She provided land for OSF Hospital. She provided land for the library. She provided land for many other organizations in Peoria. And then at age 80, she founded Bradley University. And in her discussions in preparing her estate in her later years, she talked to Dr. William Rainey, who was the president of the University of Chicago at the time. And he was a friend of hers. And she talked about in her estate, she was going to leave money to form or found that would be used to build a college. It would be Bradley. And he said, why wait? And so she chose not to wait. So over the course of a couple of years, by the time she became 80 years old, in 1897, Bradley University opened its doors. And we're grateful that she didn't wait. And we celebrate her, and I talk about the legacy she left us. Her vision for the university was not complex, and my vision is not complex. Her vision was a direction to us to recruit and develop young people who were independent, who were industrious, meaning resilient, determined, and who would serve their communities. And that was an important part of her direction, to serve their communities as she had done. And so my vision is simply to make sure her vision is fulfilled. It is our inheritance at Bradley University to deliver on her promise, not just to young people to be educated, but to the community to be involved, and for our young people, then to become involved in their communities. So with that in mind, I go to work every day with a simple thought. What decision do we make today that will help us attract and retain young people? Retain not just for 4 years in school or 2 years if they come from ICC or some other place, but retain into this community. And I think we have some results to show over the course of the years, and that we're building upon over the last year. I think it's been a really exciting first year for me. I'm 14 months in now since I joined this university and had the honor of being its president. We've been focused on students and what will help us attract and retain students. And we've been focused on doing a number of things that I'm going to share with you this morning, all staying true to the mission and the vision of our founder to provide this education and experience for our students. And across our campus, that momentum is taking shape. When I spoke to Rick, when was it, in spring or winter, last winter, I shared a number of initiatives that were underway, a new entryway, which I believe is not just an entryway to our campus at the corner of Main and University, but a gateway to what I hope will become a vibrant urban corridor on Main Street from Bradley University to the Riverfront Museum. I feel like with 3,500 to 4,000 young people in one place on our campus over the course of a 9-month period, and over a couple 100,000 visitors at the museum during the course of the year, with the hospitals in between, the University of Illinois College of Medicine in between, it just makes sense for that corridor not just to be a couple blocks long, but to be all the way from Bradley to the riverfront. And we started, I told you probably in the winter, to build on that. We had an initiative with the Riverfront Museum where every one of our students, faculty, and staff get a free membership. When John Morris and I put this together and announced it, we hoped that it would be significant. Now has over 1,300 memberships to the Peoria Riverfront Museum. So these are kind of partnerships I'm going to talk about briefly this morning. But we're making investments in our campus in addition to that entryway on the back quad behind our Markin Recreational Center, a pickleball complex and sand volleyball and a music pavilion. We have a beautiful quad back there, and this will add to it. We're modernizing our housing. I believe that to attract students today, we needed to enhance our residential and dining options for our students. University Hall is the freshman dorm we started with. We're renovating. That will be done and open by the time students return next month. The entryway will be close to be finished. The pickleball and stuff will be close to be finished. I want to thank Senator Kaler for his assistance in helping us make University Hall a viable project for our students. Thank you, Senator. But we're moving on beyond that. A couple weeks ago, we announced the largest investment in student housing that this university has made in over 50 years, a complete transformation of Harper Hall and the modernization of the students' residential experience there. We're creating new residential or new recreational options for our students outside of the classroom as well. I mentioned the pickleball and sand volleyball, but we expanded opportunities by creating 5 new club sports, all women's club sports. These were set to be unwound or rolled out over the course of the next couple of years. We're a Division I athletic program, but we have a number of club sports. I wanted to create more, help us attract and retain. These club sports we're putting in kind of an elite level, I would say. We put them underneath the athletic umbrella. So while they're not NCAA Division I, they're an elevated club sport. They are women's flag football, they're women's soccer, stunt, which is a cheerleading competition, women's wrestling, and women's ice hockey. Now, we were planning to roll out soccer and we didn't think we could roll them out yet this year, but the interest in those has been so exciting and robust that we're able to roll out women's flag football and women's soccer in this school year. So I'm excited about that. We're continuing, thank you. We're concentrating beyond academics. Our academics are strong. We have quality academic programs. We're expanding beyond those for other opportunities to serve our students. And in doing so, I think we're creating opportunities for leadership, for engagement, for career preparation, for personal growth. We're trying to give these young people an opportunity to prepare themselves for success in their personal and professional lives. And I believe that the results are coming to fruition in pretty short order. I would say that when I stepped into this job, we had I walked into probably the smallest incoming freshman class that anybody could remember at Bradley University. I would say that historically, maybe the last 25, 30 years, we would be between 920 and 1,000 incoming freshmen. We had 4 years of decline, culminating last year as I walked in to about 620 incoming freshmen. So you can do the math and the challenge that would create for us over a 4-year period, with classes before that also having been declining. Given we made an intentional and purposeful strategy to engage the entire campus, making admission and enrollment everybody on campus's responsibility, not just at the foot or the doorstep of admissions and marketing. It became everybody's responsibility, starting from me, through faculty, through staff, all the way across the campus. The results were incredible. Our campus rose to the occasion. Our visit days were full of staff and faculty meeting prospective parents, promoting their programs, giving tours, really just telling the story of Bradley University, which I believe we have neglected or failed to do for some time now. This is the storied traditions of this university. We have a story to tell, and we started telling it. So our deposits, as of May, were up 30%, which was against all headwinds in higher education today. But what's most important then was how to make those deposits become a reality. So we had a robust orientation throughout the summer. That orientation is over now. Our numbers would indicate, based on our orientation and our projections, that we should have 850 to 855 students arrive. There's a lot of things to talk about there, but as it affects all of us, all of you in this room, we doubled the number of students from Central Illinois high schools from Washington, Metamora, Morton, Dunlap, Notre Dame, East Peoria, Farmington, Elmwood, all across Central Illinois. We doubled the number of students from Illinois Central Illinois schools. And that's encouraging. It's also a reminder that today's students have changing expectations. So we have to remain agile. We have to continue to innovate. We have to continue to be willing to evolve and change as needed to remain competitive, to continue to attract talented students. And while I think those investments are important, one of the things that I'm most excited about, one of the things I spoke about in getting this job, I thought that Bradley had become disconnected from this community. And frankly, from our founder in 1897, we were intertwined from that day and that day forward. We should never lose sight of that Bradley and the greater Peoria and Central Illinois community are intertwined. So we needed to put that back together. We need to put it back together with other institutions like ICC, and we need to put that back together with the business community and the partnerships in the workforce. And we have done that because no single institution can meet every challenge or seize every opportunity on its own. The strongest communities we know are built when colleges, businesses, nonprofits, local and state leaders and civic leaders work toward a common goal, a shared purpose. And that is why our Path to BU partnership with Illinois Central College is so meaningful. I'm aware, having been on the board, and Dr. Sheila Quirk-Bailey is here, and I want to thank her for her assistance in making this happen. And I know she was working on this for a number of years with Bradley, only to hit stumbling blocks or obstacles along the way. Where is Sheila? How do you get you retire and you get a seat in the back of the room? I'm looking for you right here. I know that Dr. Bailey had been trying to make this happen for a number of years. It, again, did not seem complex to me, so we got it done, and I'm grateful for her assistance in doing so. She was a driver in this, and we did two things. One, we eliminated the barriers for students to transfer their credits. That was step one, made that transition simple. But step two, and we noticed that over the last number of years, 5 or so, Bradley became the second choice of Illinois Central College students, not the first, as we were historically. ISU had become the first choice. And if that had to do with the difference in price, we wanted to make that up. And so the Gilmore Foundation assisted us in doing so in a last dollar scholarship. So now, in addition to making the transition and the transfer of credit hours simpler, easier, more streamlined, that last dollar scholarship helped us seal the deal. And we have, just since we announced this in January, resulted in nearly 70 students from ICC transferring into Bradley University. So thank you, Dr. And I look forward to working with Dr. Roll to continue these types of partnerships to give your students and ours the experience we want for them. So with that affordable, clearer, more affordable pathway, we're making a difference here in Central Illinois. Now, why this matters? Because these students, if they stay here, and 30% of ours do stay here, they're going to be engineers, they're going to be teachers, they're going to be nurses, they're going to be entrepreneurs, they're going to be accountants, they're going to be business leaders, they're going to work in the building trades, and they're going to strengthen the workforce and contribute to our economy. So that's a win for us, that's a win for you, that's a win for the greater Peoria region. And our responsibility, I feel, isn't simply to educate our students, but again, as our founder wanted us to do, prepare them for success in their personal and professional lives. So with that in mind, I'm going to turn the podium back to Rick, and I'll be available to answer any questions if you wish. But I'm grateful for two things. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful that our founder chose not to wait to start Bradley University, and she did hand us the greatest legacy in higher education. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. Okay, cool. Again, President Shattuck, thank you. As I said before, get out of the way because he's on a charge right now, and it's great for us. So we like that. So it's my great pleasure now to introduce the new president of ICC, Illinois Central College, which I'm a proud graduate. So I won't tell you when. Let's leave that. But I went when the Quonset huts were still there. So yeah, the new buildings weren't there. So with that, Dr. Jamel, roll. Shamanica, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you to the Chamber for bringing us together. I am delighted to be here and to share the stage with such esteemed leaders. Bradley and ICC each play a very distinct role in the region, but we do share a common mission, and that is to help develop talent in the area, to work on ideas, and to develop leadership that will move Central Illinois forward. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to meet me yet, I joined ICC as the 6th president on July 1st, so I'm one day from 1 month in. And I can tell you a little bit about me. I've spent the past 20 years working in higher education in South Florida. I worked at a very large institution having about 60,000+ students. We were esteemed in terms of recognition. Did a lot of work with workforce development and changing our programs to make sure they aligned with the needs of the workforce and the industry. And I worked on programs, a lot of community activities. And so I was at a point in my career where I was looking to grow with an institution that was strong and that I could build an institution that was making a big difference in the community and with students and around student success. And so that's how I landed here at Illinois Central College. And I am very, very excited to be here. So just so you know, I believe that community colleges are the most transformational entity in a community because we take students from any walk of life. We take students, we meet them where they are. We help them achieve whatever their goals may be, whether it is to get a degree and go into the workforce, or to start their studies with us and transfer, or if they're in a career and want to upskill or reskill. And so I think it's really, really a critical component of any economic development plan and any community that's really looking to grow. So during my first 100 days, I have really been conducting a listening and learning tour where I am meeting students, employers, all stakeholders and partners. So you'll probably see me around on the news and meeting with folks. And if you haven't had the opportunity to meet me, definitely I am looking forward to hearing from all of you so that I can make sure that together we are building a strong vision for the future. I'm just a few weeks into my listening tour, but what I will tell you is some very early themes have emerged. And I will share just a few of those with you. I haven't shared themes just yet, but because I feel it's a little too early, but I'm going to do that for you today. So number one, Illinois Central College is strong. It has a proud history. It's producing great outcomes, students, and employers. Everywhere I go, I hear stories of how Illinois Central College has made a difference in someone's life. I often, including Rick, run into people who tell me stories about when they started at Illinois Central College and how it really did transform their life. So that is the main theme that I am hearing about the strength of Illinois Central College. Second, I'm also hearing people want more from us. And it's not because we are falling short in any way, but because they truly believe in our potential. They believe that some communities and populations would like a deeper presence. Employers want more from us. They want us to continue to align our programs with the rapidly evolving workforce needs. And number three, employers are also telling us that graduates not only need technical preparation, learning on modern equipment that's comparable to what's in the field, but they also need students with soft skills, employability skills such as communication and teamwork, problem solving, and all of those types of skills that make them great employees. And number four, we are continuing to really redesign education around the realities of today's students, because I'm also hearing that students need flexibility. They are looking for us to meet them where they are and to redesign how we traditionally have done education. So, for example, beginning in the fall, many of our courses will move from a traditional 16-week term where students start in August and they finish in December. We're moving to shorter terms. So students will take 8-week classes. They will focus in and concentrate and complete a segment of courses in 8 weeks, and then they will move on to another segment of courses. This really allows them to more deeply concentrate in a shorter time, and if they have a challenge mid-semester, they could potentially at least have some credits that they've completed rather than waiting to the end and losing all of the time they would have spent. This is a national trend that has seen great outcomes in terms of how students fare when they focus in. And so we're really looking forward to seeing positive results from our 8 weeks schedule. We're also expanding what we're calling stackable credentials, which means that students earn short-term certificates and they will eventually they can be laddered into a program. So for instance, if a student is reskilling, upskilling, or just starting and want to take a short mini certificate, they can come to ICC, take a certificate, and eventually use those certificates to equal credits down the line. So it gives students the opportunity to get a skill, start work, and then come back when they're ready. Hopefully we're able to keep them throughout the time, but at least it gives them the opportunity to get started in the workplace. So the idea is that we're going to give students multiple entry points and clear pathways for advancement. We believe this is critically important because Illinois recently released some statistics, and they projected that more than 70% of all jobs in the state will require a post-secondary credential by the year 2031. In our region, we have about 37% of our residents who have a degree of some sort beyond a high school diploma. So we've got a gap to make up. And we really need to start thinking about how we can bring more people into the fold of higher education, because by 2031, we need to be at 70% having some type of credential. We are also preparing for the rollout, the federal rollout of Workforce Pell, which will allow us to students to get financial aid for these short-term certificates that I'm referencing. And so the application window is open now, and we are working with the state to determine which programs will be eligible for that financial aid. So that's a new thing that will take effect once we get our application in. We're expecting to have that available next fall. One of the other challenges that I wanted to address is just the growing skepticism around the value of college. Students and families are really interested in understanding where programs can lead. what skills they're developed, and how much it will cost. And so this is where I believe we have an opportunity to really work closely on the front end to help students understand the value of higher education. This is also where ICC and Bradley and our K-12 partners and the community can really come together to accomplish more by helping people understand that there are needs for skilled workers, and that by having these credentials, they're more able to be employed, and it does lead to a positive outcome. I am encouraged by what I have learned during the first few weeks on the job. I am excited that ICC has a strong foundation. The community really believes in the college. And my role is really not to come in with a predetermined list of changes that I'd like to make, but to really listen carefully, to build on the success that we have had over the years, to work with the community, the business community, and to really understand and develop the future of the region, because I believe that the future will be determined by how effectively we're able to develop, attract, and retain talent. ICC is ready to do its part. We will work continuously with our K-12 partners, Bradley, the Chamber, employers, and all of you to ensure that ICC is prepared for the opportunities ahead. Thank you.
Again, a big Peoria area welcome to Dr. Roll. At this point, I think we'd be remiss if during the transition period, Bruce Buddy. Bruce, in the transition. Stand, please. Come on. Very humble guy. Couldn't pick a better person to pass the baton. So, Bruce, thank you. He's been a great community partner for many, many years with us, so we appreciate that. With that, I'd like to introduce Megan Thomason. Megan, with the GPLC, the Greater Peoria Leadership Group. They do great work. Been mentioned the Gilmore Foundation. They're part of that. So, Megan, here we go. Megan's the Director of Project Management. So, Megan, the floor is yours. This will, again, with Megan, this is going to tie together a lot of things that ICC is doing with President Shadid, Dr. Roll, a lot of the vision to get people here, retain them. So,
that's great.
Megan?
Thank you. Hello. It's great to be here with all of you this morning. As Rick was saying, along with Bradley and ICC, GPLC shares a focus on talent attraction and retention. So I'm excited to share a little bit more about the Greater Peoria leaders today and some of the initiatives that we have in the community. In 2023, a group of business leaders came together to provide direction and support regional priorities. And since these early conversations, now over 3 years later, the GPLC, known as Greater Peoria Leaders, has grown into a coalition that includes both business and community development organizations, all working around the same goal. The work has grown, and as we grow, we focus on strategic thinking and collaboration, and mostly, the multiplier effect. We talk about that a lot. How do we bring all of these people around the table, all of our leaders, all of the very best in our community to row in the same direction? Because we know there's power in coming together as a group. You'll see some logos on the slide here. This is our partner network. It now includes more than 30 invested businesses you'll see on the screen and organizations from all around the Greater Peoria region. These logos, as you'll see, represent really some of our largest employers, and we're really proud of that. This group is connected across all industries. We have healthcare, manufacturing, financial services, higher ed, like Bradley and ICC and others, around this group here around the table today. We're also proud to partner with our community development organizations. This includes both sides of the river. So we have the Downtown Development Corporation, the GPEDC, East Peoria Chamber of Commerce, of course, the City of Peoria, City of East Peoria, Discover Peoria, and the Peoria Area Chamber of Commerce. I want to take just a few minutes to talk through our leadership structure at the GPLC. This is really what makes all of our work possible, and we've been really intentional about building a model that blends business leadership, civic government leadership with our CDOs, and all of the very best engaged community voices to really drive that regional alignment that we talk about. We have our executive committee. So this is a group of the most senior executives on our board, the largest employers in the region, and they meet on a monthly basis and really are very engaged to drive initiatives forward. We also have our board of directors. So this includes our executive committee as well as the board chairs of all of those CDO, civic development organizations that I was just sharing on the screen. We're also proud to have a continuously growing advisory group. This is our largest group at the GPLC. We have over 40 cross-sector leaders around the table. We just had a meeting this week, and it was just, there's so much energy in the room, and it's just really great collaboration opportunity to have all of these voices talking strategically and discussing what's important for our region. Oh, I guess I should also mention, last but not least, very important is our grant committee. And I'm going to be talking in a few minutes a little bit more about some of our grant initiatives. Some of those you might have seen in our community already. And so we're really thankful for this group of volunteers that are coming together and really involved in the application and awarded process of our grants. Just a quick look at our leadership roster. This again continues to grow. This includes our executive committee, our board of directors, and our full advisory group. You'll see, all industries up there listed. I think it just really speaks to the power of people coming together. The GPLC is focused on two primary priorities to drive economic vitality. So the first of those, along with Bradley and ICC, is talent attraction and workforce expansion. This is really connecting employers and businesses and candidates and all of our community to really expand and retain that talent pipeline that we all know is so important. The other piece is our regional core vibrancies. So this is something that we've really been intentional about over the past year or so. These are initiatives that activate spaces throughout our community, support business growth, and we're really focused on some key areas that we'll be discussing further here in a minute. I think you'll see at the bottom this positive Peoria lens, and that is our Choose Greater Peoria initiative campaign. I'm sure many of you have heard of that or seen that. This is really what brings it all together. We know that attracting and retaining talent really creates the energy to build that vibrancy in our region. And then the other way around too, we know that the amenities and the vibrancy of our region then also support attracting and retaining talent. So we see these really working hand to hand, and that's why it's this kind of continuous circle here. We need all of these pieces together to be really successful. Talent attraction, workforce expansion. This has been kind of our bread and butter since we started. A lot of this work is centered around our Choose Greater Peoria initiative, as I mentioned. So this is showcasing Peoria as a great place to live, work, and play. We do this in a few ways. One is through our Investor Advantage program. So these are invested businesses that are a part of the GPLC, and we provide strategic consultation to them. Just one example, we heard when we're bringing in executives to interview for jobs, we need a really strong professional transportation service. When they get to the airport, they need to be able to be escorted where they need to go. So trying to help, that's just one example of what we're doing to try to connect employers with candidates and really make sure that experience is cohesive and very professional from start to finish. We also have our concierge services. So you'll see a few things up there on the screen. These are recruitment resources. So how do we talk about the Greater Peoria region cohesively and with a consistent message? And that's where Choose Greater Peoria comes in. These materials are available through the Choose Greater Peoria website. I encourage you all to check them out and share with your networks. And they're also available, these and more, with our invested businesses, again, giving their HR teams and executives the tools they need to really sell the Greater Peoria region to their candidates. And then finally, something we highlighted this summer that we're really excited to continue growing is our summer internship program. This is really important to strengthen those connections with those young students, people coming into Peoria maybe for the first time through a career internship opportunity. How do we connect with them right off the bat and show them that Greater Peoria is somewhere that they could really grow a career? So we've been working with organizations and businesses in Peoria and East Peoria. We just had an event at the Putt Club last week, which was phenomenal, just showing off all that Greater Peoria has to offer and making those interns feel really connected with our community. Our other work relates to regional core vibrancy and our grant projects. So I'm going to share just a bit about the two ways that we're doing this. One is our community sprint grants. These are focused in our regional core area, those 6 districts, the Riverfront, Warehouse, Central Business District, MedTech, and Main Street, going up to Bradley Campus Corridor. They support beautification programming, community-led initiatives, and things that are quick wins. These are grants available to our nonprofit organizations, and they're meant to create vibrancy really quickly. So usually these projects are completed within a few months and activate that area really quickly. The other longer term initiative we have is our Project One investment grants. This is a really unique 3-year long-term initiative with our CDO organizations. So 5+ of those organizations, CDOs coming around the table. And this is in a really focused area in downtown. It's about a 3-block area of Main Street in the heart of downtown Peoria. So again, really focusing our intentions so that we can make impact. This is, increasing retail space on the first floor. How do we add vibrancy to this area? And then second floor and up office space. So trying to increase the occupancy in this area and focusing in on these blocks to do so with our CDO partners. I want to share some of our recent community sprint grant projects that have been completed. We're really excited about these. Some of these you might have seen over the past year. On the top left is Harper Hall Mural at Bradley University. We worked with Big Picture Initiative on this, being that campus connector right when you walk into Bradley's campus. This is a huge, large-scale mural by a local Peoria artist and Bradley alum. Really excited to work with her on this to really increase vibrancy in this area on Bradley's campus. We also did the holiday pop-up bars last year. This drove 7,000 new visitors to downtown. So really incredible. We were blown away just over 2 months, attracting new people to support local businesses in downtown Peoria. Our warehouse district string lights, we worked with the city of Peoria and the DDC on this. We just had a launch last night. Very exciting to see this come to life, increase walkability and safety in the warehouse district. That continues to grow. Vibe 309, we're working with WTVP, really grateful for their partnership on this. A new show highlighting the best of the best in Peoria. We're on season 2 right now, and it's been really fun to see that continue to grow. And then Dragon Boats, we're working with the Peoria Chinese Association to increase their fleet of dragon boats. And we are very excited that those will be launching on Go Day, one of our upcoming events happening on Sunday, September 13th. This is our upcoming community celebration with Big Picture and bringing in some of these grant recipients as well. One of our many sponsored events that we do to, again, focus on that regional vibrancy and what we can do to give people the great experience of Greater Peoria. So you'll see that Red, White, and Boom, as I'm sure you're all familiar with, that is, over 200,000 people on both sides of the river. That's been incredible with Peoria and East Peoria. So just trying to create opportunities for people to spend more time downtown in Greater Peoria and connect. As we wrap up, I just want to share, a little bit about why GPLC came about. We're business-led. We're a coalition focused on regional alignment, as you can see through some of our projects underway, and we're really cohesive so that we can amplify impact. So if you take something away from that, I hope you take away that. We would love to have you all continue to be community ambassadors. If your business is interested in investing or be a part of the GPLC, I'd be happy to talk more about that with you. If you would, we encourage you to share our resources. If you go to choosegreaterpeoria.org, please leverage those with your networks and your communities. And yes, and then support our regional core, support the businesses downtown. If you're interested, if you're a nonprofit and interested in grant opportunities, I would love to connect with you. We have a new grant cycle that is just launching yesterday, actually. So I would love to connect with you on that if that's something that your organization is interested in as well. Before we wrap, I'd like to invite up Dr. Sheila Kirk-Bailey just for a moment to talk through the surprise. We are so happy to have her as an advisor on the GPLC. And just this week, as I'm sure many of you have seen in the news, we have partnered with Caterpillar to launch another talent attraction workforce expansion initiative. So I don't know if she wanted to share just a comment or two about that work that we're doing. Again, talent attraction related.
Well, good morning. The first thing I have to say is I told Rick I want to sit in the back of the room. I'm retired. Let's give the glory to the people who are currently in the seats. And then, of course, President Shadid, it's like he made her sit in the back of the room. It wasn't Rick that made me sit in the back. I just want to clear the air, so I don't want to hear about that. And speaking of Rick, he's the one who started this because, of course, when CAT is looking to do something major in workforce, and they wanted it to be led by businesses, where did they turn? They turned to the East Peoria Chamber, and Rick was in those very initial conversations, 5 months ago, is the one who pulled that all together is with Henry Vickery to get those conversations started. So you should know that about your leader and how that got pulled together. So $100 million nationally, $10 million to Illinois. CAT is making a major investment in workforce for that technical manufacturing area, looking to design a system that will take them that are sustainable systems regionally, that will take them into the future. So they are investing in the 3 regions where they have manufacturing plants in Illinois, so $10 million overall in Illinois. So what that means for us locally is they were looking for business organizations to run that. They went to the GPLC, of course, because that represents leadership from around the region of those CEOs, and they already had the goal of that talent attraction, talent development, workforce expansion. So what's going on very soon is the planning and design of what that ecosystem could work with. We'll be working directly with manufacturers for the first phase of this project to figure out their needs, their pipelines, what the data show us. Early on, we can tell you what the data shows us. If you can't just do this with recent high school graduates because there aren't enough of them, that we will also have to build pathways for adults to bring them into this ecosystem. So the organization who has been contracted with CAT to run the planning and design is the Greater Peoria Leadership Council. Isn't that exciting? So then I'm doing the consulting work to help do that, that design and planning work. CAT was very specific in the early on that they didn't want just educational providers to be in that they wanted that to be more of a business-centered experience. And then in Pontiac, who's running it, it's the K-12 Tech Center and the community college that represents them. So just so you know, they started with us first and wanted a little bit of a different design, but all of the educational groups, K-12, ICC, they don't have a baccalaureate plan, but I don't know that that's not gonna come up in our design because I don't know if all of you know, but you probably do, their largest group of engineers worldwide is right here in our region. Right, so when you talk about an ecosystem, how do we pull in then Bradley and engineering to really round out that ecosystem? So we'll look at that when we do the data. But that's the exciting news that just happened this week, and we'll be starting all of that within the next several weeks.
Perfect. Thank you.
while we're coming up, I'm supposed to get a picture. I would be remiss if I didn't ask my team to stand up and be recognized. Thank you for being here and coming so early. Please, if you're representing ICC, please stand and be recognized. And thank you for your support.
As Sheila said, it was quite a process with Caterpillar, as you might imagine. They came to town, and why they picked me to talk to, I have no idea. But they came in from the foundation in Washington, D.C., and we started talking about workforce, what they needed to do, and we're very familiar with that. And the lady that was here said, who can I go to get this done? GPLC. You already have the business leaders. You already have Bradley, ICC, the schools, everyone connected. She looked at that. I said, call Laura Cullinan. She talked to Laura. She called back and said, this is amazing. You already have it done. So again, it fell, right into what we were doing, and it's a great thing for the region because that's going to help everyone from, the folks at the building trades, the schools, Midwest Tech, all the people that are training our students right now. It's going to help us tremendously, and this is going to just lead to more things because in the future you're going to hear a lot more coming from Caterpillar. I know the hospitals, the medical communities. I know just everyone out here has a lot of things going on, and you need the workers. So with that, we'll do some Q&A real quick. Now, who wants to be the first? Please don't make me do it first.
Tony was in that original meeting too.
Oh, Tony was there. Yeah, Tony.
Original meeting with Cat as well.
With the regional meeting with Caterpillar? Yeah. So, see, we started the kindergarten grades.
Right. And I think that's important. I think that this connection to kids beyond just the recruitment directly technology is what happens beforehand. And I appreciate the fact that the conversations have revolved around, this early recruitment piece and talking about the K-12 setting. I think, much like everybody else, education has seen a shortage in the number of people coming out having that interest in teaching. And some areas are becoming even more difficult to recruit for, such as special education. Jason's our special ed director, and he can tell you firsthand, the difficulty that we have. It isn't about positions, it's about the number of candidates to fill all the positions that are open, even throughout Central Illinois, but beyond that too. And so I think being able to make this connection early on, looking for these opportunities. If I had one suggestion to talk about, one of the things that we've been now partnering with East Peoria High School is having some of their co-op students come into our classrooms as juniors and seniors in that co-op program, and seeing what a classroom looks like and how that operates, in the hope that maybe we're recruiting them and encourage them to get into that education field. So if there's a way for the colleges to connect with those juniors and seniors and somehow credit that for the time that they spend in the classroom as kind of this early initiative that maybe promotes them into then setting themselves on their college path with the hope that that becomes a career path, to be able to make connections with the school districts in which they're serving that time in, I think that would be a great opportunity. And so something to think about going forward, and I'm sure we will all have that conversation somewhere down the road, but I think that's important. I know, Sheila, we started these conversations of where do those things, and I know it connects directly to the high school setting, but in the elementary setting, we also look for those kids, and when there are our own students that we saw go through our district and have them come back, I think my greatest pride as a superintendent is to be able to hire the very kids that we educated throughout their career. And having that connection with ICC and Bradley locally means even more of that, because it truly then is this local initiative. So if I had anything, it's not as much a question as it is, I think we should continue on that path. And I know it's not, this year we have to do this, and then this year I think it's a growing piece, but I think it's something that we all need to be cognizant of, because this recruitment impacts everybody in here, because I'm sure everybody has their challenges. And looking at the ways that we can support that in different ways than what we're already doing, I think is going to be the most important thing. So I thank you all for the conversations that you're having, and the fact that you're not only just involving high schools in that, but looking at what's the K-12 part of that. and I speak as a K-8 superintendent, so making that connection is important to us.
I think it's important in the regional meetings you have to invite these folks to talk.
And for us to be part of those, and I appreciate the fact that that's been the case.
So, questions?
So to take it from local to global, we have a brilliant, vibrant global community that lives in Peoria. And part of the retention question is they come to Bradley or ICC first, Bradley, and then work at Caterpillar, and then leave for a brief period of time. How is the recruitment of international students going? Because with Caterpillar on board, I can anticipate, for example, students from across America who could come to ICC and get certificates and then go back and work for Caterpillar dealers in their home countries. Is there any consideration for building a global student recruitment?
Sure, that's a great question, and certainly something that we are looking at as an institution. I don't have the answer today in terms of what that looks like, but we're looking forward to partnering with all members of the community, the GPLC, to make sure that we're thinking about those things.
Thank you, Angela. I'll address it in another way. We were unable to get over 100 international students, mostly from India, into our engineering graduate programs because they were the inability to have their visa stamped approved. Historically, Bradley has been really strong with a pipeline for international students, specifically, mostly from India. And so that has affected us significantly. And the ability to attract students, at least students that the administration has said can't come here. So we've had to look to other areas. I will say that this affects us in so many different ways because these young people then chose to go other places. They went to France or other places in Europe to continue their education. So these were opportunities that were lost to us, and we need to either figure out how to rebuild it, it's something out of our control, or look elsewhere in other places. And we've started to look elsewhere, not to just rely on one area or another.
Okay. Other questions? Tony?
Tony O'Brien with the Operating Engineers. A huge fan of education. I am the proud father of a 3rd and 4th grade special ed teacher and have a son that takes challenge classes and more. Oftentimes, the building trades and higher education are separate. If you don't want to do one, you can do the other. I think they need to be together, and is there a plan for the building trades and us to get together while you're going to ICC? Maybe you can think about an apprenticeship. Or since you went to ICC, maybe you can go to an apprenticeship and learn that craft and then go to Bradley and become an engineer or maybe a leader in the business, and then you would know our side of things. I don't think that we should be separate. I think if we're partners in the room, then we should be partners in the plan as well.
I agree, and thanks for sharing that. Although I didn't mention it in my remarks earlier, apprenticeships is an area that we are growing in, and so we are definitely looking forward to partnering and continuing that work, but we're already on that path. So we will be working closely with business leaders to make sure that we have places for students to work while they learn. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to Central Illinois. It's a beautiful place.
Tony, I'll be brief, but I think that your comments speak to a grow your own pipeline model. And Dr. Rowland and I talked for the first time last week, and we have some thoughts. We shared some thoughts, and I have some thoughts for Bradley in that regard, in a grow your own in the education field and in the engineering field. So creating pipelines, if that's what you're talking about, I think is an excellent idea and something that we'd be totally remiss if we did not explore and make happen. Thank you.
Other questions? Come on, don't everybody be bashful.
Marissa Kaufman, River City Construction. So, love what they said from the building trades. We see that equally because we have the side of education, right? I think that's where we're looking at right now is how do we grow our own when we look at the CM programs, that how do we change our demographic? So there's a lot that comes with the work with GPs, the greater Peoria community, but then how do we get sustainable wages in there because that's the problem we're seeing. Sorry. We're not seeing the change with who's getting into those programs from our communities because they can't have the wages covered. They can't afford to not make a wage while they're going to school. So is there anything?
It's certainly something that I'm looking at in terms of data. One of the most important things to me is to figure out who's not attending ICC and how do we connect them so that they can come. And so we believe that Workforce Pell might be an area, once that rolls out, that will be helpful for the trades in particular or those shorter programs because it opens up an avenue of financial aid and funding for programs that have not traditionally been afforded financial aid. So we believe that's one way of doing it, but certainly we'll be looking at the data and making some targeted recruitment efforts in making sure that we bring all to the table.
All right. Anyone else? I know Mr. Uftring's here, and the high school has sent a few technicians, John, to your, so it's working. And get more to you, mechanics and techs and things such as that. So, we do have success, but we need to continue the success. And with these folks, we'll get there. I mean, I'll be around for a while yet. So, it's scary now that I'm seeing folks in the room here that I remember at this age, they're retiring now. And I'm still here. So, but it's all good. Anything? Any closing? Jamonica? Jimmy? Sheila?
Just thank you.
Okay, thank you all.